Now, the Speakmans are here to help take your calls on creepy crawlies. Loads of you have been in touch. Guys, it's always such a pleasure to see you both. It's been so long since I've seen you. Should we get to the first one?
Yes.
Let's do it. I believe we've got Lynn. Lynn, are you there?
Hi, yes, hello.
Morning, Lynn. Listen, the Speakmans are here. Go for it.
Yeah, so basically I am terrified of spiders, and it's really escalated in the last sort of couple of years. My daughter got married and I ended up sleeping on the top of a wooden table in the accommodation because I was so frightened of the spiders around. Last weekend I slept in my car because there were a couple of spiders in the house and they'd gone missing and I couldn't find them. So I ended up actually sleeping in the car. I've got a bedtime routine of checking pillows under the bed. I won't have curtains up in case there's spiders. I have white bedding, white wallpaper, so that I can check if there's any spiders in the bedroom. Yeah.
Well,
so
Len,
that's me.
I mean, this is excess, isn't it?
Yeah, this is right at the top end of the scale here. Len, I would love to make you feel better about spiders, so because that is really over the top. So, what can we do about this? I want you to know that, firstly, that no one is born with a fear of spiders, and it is the most common fear that's copied by a parent. So, is that the case with you?
I think so. Yeah, and my dad was very, very frightened of spiders, and I can remember him actually killing a spider for me in the bedroom when I was about 6. Right,
OK. So that makes complete sense, because... and I want to take you back. So you're not born with this. You see your dad, who is your role model, killing spiders. So in that moment, you've got to think that they are something dangerous. Does that make sense?
Yes, yeah, it does.
OK. And so your dad really taught you something that was incorrect. And I just want you to consider, I bet when you were growing up that your dad wasn't keen on all your friends.
No, that's right.
Right.
Yeah, he was.
OK. Thankfully, he didn't try to kill any of those, but I want to just put it into perspective for you. Right? Because, I'm glad you're laughing, actually, because when you can laugh at something, you can start to let things go, because we're bringing in an entirely different emotion here. And when you say about spiders, I will just say a bit about spiders. We couldn't live without spiders. And spiders, actually, are very terrified of us. And the reason a lot of people say, but it's the way that they run, it's the way that they look, they're actually frightened of carbon dioxide. So if we're saying you were on the kitchen table there, if you'd actually gone back to your bedroom, the fact that you're breathing out in that bedroom, they will run away from you because they're frightened of carbon dioxide.
And just to add why they are very sensitive to carbon dioxide, and that's because most spiders have very poor sight or can't see at all. So they have little hairs on them and they're very aware of things like carbon dioxide, because if they sense that, what that would normally tell them is that they're in threat and about to be eaten. So if there's a spider, there's a bird coming down, they sense the carbon dioxide, it makes them frightened that they're going to get eaten, so then they run away. And so that is why they run. So actually when they run, that's a good thing, because it means that they're trying to get away from us. But they are incredibly nervous because they can't see. All they see with us is a shadow, and they feel in threat. They literally just want to be left alone, and they're incredibly fragile as well.
And a great reason why you don't have any flies in your house, because you've got spiders. But I'd like to leave you with a little task, if I may. I'd like you to create what we call a fears versus facts list. And I want you to write down on one side everything that you fear about spiders, and then I'd like you to write down on the other side the facts about spiders, in the fact that you've never been hurt by a spider. You've never had your heart broken by a spider. You copied this off your dad, and perhaps your dad got it wrong, because he might have disliked some of your friends, but you liked them and you carried on liking them. So you put facts on that side, and hopefully the facts will outweigh the fear, and then you can look at spiders in a fair and balanced way.
OK, right. I shall definitely do that. Anything's worth a try, because
amazing.
It's completely taken over.
Lynn, whatever you do, get off that table, because that is going to do your back right in.
Do you know
I don't care about my back.
You need to, Lynn. You can't worry.
Good luck, Lynn, because I'm going to be doing exactly the same thing. I am picking up what you're putting down. I'm exactly the same. I just wish I could get close enough to blow on them.
Yeah. I mean, there are so many natural deterrents that you can use as well around your home. You know, there's, like, obviously, if you've got pets, you've got to be careful, but things like eucalyptus oil, lavender oil. There is some... People say that conkers can work. There's no scientific research behind that. Again, you've got to be careful if you've got pets. But I think the big thing with any creepy crawlies is that we really need to be aware of clutter, because if we have clutter, then that's a great place for them to go and hide and live. So that's a good sort of motivation to get your house clean.
Did it not make you feel better after doing jungle?
Honestly, I got out of there with a bad back. I was so frightened and on edge every single day.
Look.
Yeah, every single day. I was so frightened. I was thinking, God, where are they? I didn't go to the toilet for a month.
Wow.
That's how bad it was.
I think that when we can change our emotion to them and realise just how fearful and fragile they are, and we can start to pity them, then we change how we feel about them. And it is a shame, because they have been vilified in films, in horror films, etc. And in that scenario, if you ask yourself, really, you know, if I'm attributing where does this fear come from, it actually isn't the spider, it's watching a parent's reaction to it.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's changing your focus.
Well, good luck, Lynn. Do your list, and hopefully that'll help you out.
We got Lisa. Now, Lisa said, seeing maggots makes me feel sick. I'm terrified of maggots. I can't see them on TV or even say the word out loud without feeling like I'm going to vomit. I start sweating, my heart races, and it means I can't go fishing with my family. And I think this started when I was little and maggots were left in the fridge. I didn't know how they got there. I just opened the door and lots of flies come out.
Right. And again, you know, that would do it. We don't have a view or opinion about absolutely anything. But if we have a bad experience, then suddenly that bad experience can then link to a bad opinion of whatever we attribute that happened. You know, why did that happen?
And again,
think that it happened from.
That is the top of the list of a bad experience, opening the fridge door and full of flies.
And I think the thing to do in that scenario to help you to feel better is actually to work it back. And the reason that you want to work it back is that realistically, was it the maggot or was it the person that left it in the fridge and didn't say there's maggots in the fridge, don't open the fridge or whatever? So it's actually realising that it wasn't the maggot, because the maggot doesn't know who I am. It didn't turn into a fly just to come out and scare me. But what actually did frighten me was the fly and not the maggot. And you know, if you think about fear, the word fear even, F-E-A-R, it's because, and you're a great example there, Lisa, where F-E-A-R, you've had some false evidence, and it appeared real to you. So false evidence that appears real. So in that moment, it appeared that it was the maggots that frightened you, but actually, no, it wasn't. It was the act of the flies flying out, and even before that, the person that left them in the fridge. I hope that makes sense, because when we can start to make sense of what we fear and understand it, it does start to feel better.
Do you know what? That's really interesting. And we've actually now got Dean on the line. Dean, are you there, mate?
I am, yes. Hi.
Morning, Dean. Lovely to speak
Dean.
to you. Dean's got a fear of spiders, and I think this is really, really interesting because he's going to Thailand, and we've told, sort of growing up, you know, spiders in different countries, they can do this, do that. Dean, what's your main concern about going away?
I did a silly thing, and I went on Google and Googled Thailand spiders, and the pictures that come up have just set me off. So I am petrified because they're huge.
Yeah.
No, I do get that. And do you know where your fear may have started, Dean? Usually it's either a bad experience or copied from a parent, sibling, that kind of thing.
Mum is petrified, has been all her life. So I'm aware that, you know, I've seen it when I was young, jumping up on the settee or getting a brush or something and brushing them away. So I don't know if maybe that could be the...
I mean, it's very, very similar to Lynn's story, basically. You know, your mum being frightened, it was her dad in that case. But interestingly, about a year ago, there was a really interesting study on fear perceptual bias. And what they did, they took a group of spider experts and a group of people who were frightened of spiders, and they showed them different photographs of spiders and butterflies. And the experts, you know, were able to determine the correct size for spiders, whereas people with the fear, some of them saw the spiders 50% bigger because of the fear.
Yeah.
So we know that our perception changes because of fear. And you said that the spiders out there are huge, and that's because currently you're frightened of them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, when I went on there, the first picture that come up, it was they're all just so furry, huge, the Thai tarantula, and I'm thinking I could have one of those in my bedroom.
Where are you
and
staying?
if I did, I would freeze.
Where are you staying, Dean?
In a resort called Caron.
Oh, I don't think you're going to have any of them in the resort. I think they're more in the jungle, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, again, what you've got to look at is, look, spiders are not coming for any of us. Spiders just want... And Eva mentioned before, the reason why they're coming in the house now is because they want to hide, right? They don't want to come in near us, so they're not there to frighten us. And it's just understanding that, as Josie said, those spiders, tarantulas, are in the jungle. They're not in places where there's hotels, for example.
And equally... understanding and accepting that actually, had it not been to see Mum, I would be absolutely fine with this right now. And when you looked at something on Thailand, it didn't say don't go to Thailand because of these. It was just showing you what they looked like. But you could start some sort of desensitisation by looking at pictures. You could start to make sense of that fear based on this is Mum, not the spider, and sort of learning about how crucial, actually, spiders are to humanity.
Oh, Dean, have a lovely time in
Get on
Thailand.
holiday,
It's wonderful. You've got to enjoy it. You've got to enjoy it. And thank you, guys. That was amazing. Nick, I just want to clear one thing up.
Go on, what's that? What's that, Josie?
Your hair has got so long, and some people have accused you of wearing a wig.
Well, I believe they have.
Yeah, it's not a wig. This is real,
do you know
isn't
what?
it?
I'm just very fortunate that not
Take
only
it off.
that it grows really fast as well.
And do you know what? It really annoys me because that's all natural. His hair grows brilliantly.
He's got a gorgeous head of hair.
Menopause, mine's falling out and his seems to be growing.
And that is all your hair.
Yeah, and the thing, like the wig thing,
Yeah, of course
just because it grows so fast that suddenly, you know, I had shorter and I've got longer, and it's just, yeah.
But
Don't moan about it.
I'm not moaning
Got a lovely head of hair.
It's brilliant.
Thank you.
Lovely long locks.
You,
Oh, you too.
always
Well,
is.
thank you.